Over the last couple weeks, my videos have actually started to pick up a little more traction. I'm not really sure why. My only guess is that WandaVision started picking up traction and way more traction than I expected, and that the YouTube gods decided to bless me. They're like, oh my god, people are looking at Marvel videos. Send them, send them, send them. I'm 100% happy for that. It's just something I don't understand and whatnot. Maybe that's all it is, though. I just got to be like a hype machine or something, you know, when new stuff comes out, just put a video out right away. But that's all for the intro. I just want to say thanks for sticking around if you guys have. Hit the sub button if you guys like what you see and whatnot. Also, lastly, if you guys have anything to add to the conversation, I'd love to hear what you guys think. I like to do these types of videos because it opens a dialogue with you guys and I can interact with you and I can hear your guys' thoughts with these videos and see if you agree with me, disagree with me. I don't care if you agree or disagree with me. I just love having the conversation with you guys so I can hear different viewpoints. But anyway, roll the video. As most of you know, the last episode of WandaVision came out today. I wanted to get ahead of the curve and make this a half and half video. The first half of this video will be more focused on the past 8 episodes in my typical style of videos, while the second half will be my overall reaction based on the last episode. So if you like this style, let me know and I can try and do more stuff like this. Starting out, I'd like to talk about how this show shocked me. When this show was first announced, I will be completely honest here, I had no interest in it. No hype from me. I just thought, oh, this is cool. We're going to see a show about Scarlet Witch and Vision. Nice. I was curious how they were going to make this work. It seemed odd that they would make their first Disney MCU show based on arguably their least popular characters. I know I'm generalizing this here, but when you ask kids/adults their favorite superhero, most of them say Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and so on. Wanda and Vision have their niche audiences and aren't exactly up there in the fandom. Not that I'm saying it doesn't work to make a character popular. I mean, look at Daredevil. Daredevil's my favorite character in the comics and MCU, but I'm an outlier. But the show itself popularized the idea of taking lesser-known characters by the general public and throwing them in the limelight. I mean, isn't that the origin story of Iron Man? Though as I'm writing this and reading it, I'm realizing that this might be the formula that Marvel likes to use. Either way, the point I'm trying to make is that Wanda and Vision, Wanda especially, aren't really established characters with super in-depth backstories in the MCU, at least compared to the other characters in it. As we got the first 2 episodes released, I saw the notification on my phone and my brother actually asked me if I wanted to watch them. I really had no interest, but I decided to go ahead and give it a chance, which is how I like to think a lot of people felt about this show. I'm not saying that no one was excited for this show, don't get me wrong. I think it was just more people were happy to get more Marvel after the year hiatus. Right away after watching the first episode, I realized this was not a typical MCU show. This was an experiment. They wanted to see if they could do this and get away with it, and in my opinion, they did a pretty damn good job.
You can't keep getting away with it!
It laid out quite a bit of questions for me as well. When we started this journey, it seemed like there was outside forces that had to be responsible for what was going on. Wanda and Vision's, who's supposed to be dead, by the way, Vision, are in this TV universe based on shows that like Dick Van Dyke Show, Bewitched, and The Brady Bunch, even Modern Family as the show continues. I personally love WandaVision so far because it feels like a murder mystery as the show goes on. They give you hint after hint but never tell the full story. And the fact that the show can go from being a happy, fun homage to these shows straight to creepy and eerie and back to fun and happy in a matter of seconds is kind of chilling. But this shows the creativity behind the team developing the show. If you read the comics, you can immediately see the similarities to the House of M when Wanda says no more mutants and creates this parallel dimension where they don't exist. In the show, she is controlling what makes it on her show and what doesn't. She determined what exists and who has personality, and you start to realize that Wanda's controlling everyone. Not only does this make her insanely powerful, but also is a risk on Disney/Marvel's part. So far, it's working out for them very well, but to take a character that's supposed to be this redeemed hero in the MCU and turn her back to evil can have backlash. But I'll be honest here, that's a much more interesting story than if she was just fighting another big bad guy. To be completely honest, If this show ended and it kept her as this all-powerful villain, if she didn't know what she was doing, I'd be okay with that. It adds depth to her character that hasn't been seen before in other movies. Yes, I know that Agatha Harkness is one who's been pulling the strings so far, but as of right now, I'm not aware of her motive. She seems like just another throwaway character at the moment. I'm aware of her place in the comics, being an anti-hero, and that also duos as Wanda's mentor, and to be honest, that would be a very cool thing for someone to guide her on how to properly use her powers. Also, a side note here, Agatha figured out that Wanda was Scarlet Witch when she just realized she uses chaos magic, but shouldn't she have figured it out just based off of the fact that her magic is red? I mean, it seems kind of obvious once you know about magic in the universe and whatnot. Like, you have Doctor Strange, like, typical magic is that yellow greenish tint and whatnot. She's using Agatha's using that purple haze magic, so that's the witch, and Scarlet Witch is using red magic. And Scarlet, red. This I genuinely don't know the answer to this question, so if anyone has this, let me know that in the comments below. Moving on from those points, though, I think that Marvel mastered the idea of getting the theorists, like myself, to go crazy. First off, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, with Wanda being a part of this movie. We also have the Disney-Fox merger, and we have the new Spider-Man No Way Home, which is rumored to be about the multiverse and have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in this movie. Tom Holland said that they aren't in the movie, but we know we can't trust him when it comes to spoilers. Plus, Marvel has been known to change trailers/news up until right when the movies come out to keep us at the dark. Remember Thor Ragnarok with his eye? And then they go and add Evan Peters, which is Quicksilver from the Fox universe. Really was making us think that there was going to be this whole multiverse thing coming in. Part of me hopes that somehow Evan Peters stays, even though it was just a creation from Agatha, but it gets the diehard fans thinking and theorizing like crazy. Overall, WandaVision has been a fun ride of confusion. I felt like I was watching a murder mystery the entire time. I was trying to dissect every part just to figure out what was going on, which is such a good way to keep people entertained and intrigued in the show. I think that in general where it falls is, as of episode 8, I think it's afraid to stick to its risks. In the beginning, I didn't feel like I was watching a Marvel show. I felt like I was watching a murder mystery, like I said, where the main character is actually the bad guy, which is super cool to me. By the end, I feel like they chickened out with making Agatha the one pulling the strings the entire time. We don't know her motivation as of episode 8, but if they stick with this, then it feels like they're just kind of backing out last minute to avoid a Game of Thrones type situation. I loved how creative the show is and just how it gives the fans the opportunity to figure out everything without giving away all the answers. A classic show don't tell situation that our English teachers taught us. This was by far a show that no one was expecting, and one that I wasn't expecting to love. Like I said in the beginning, this is my unscripted reaction to episode 9 and what it adds to the story itself for the second part of the video. So like I said, with this second half, I would be going over the last episode, my reactions after the last episode. And let me tell you, I'm very pleased with what it was. I'll say I do have a couple grievances, but overall, I would say I am very pleased with how everything turned out in general. Like I kept saying in the beginning, I kind of wish that Agatha wasn't really the one who was like the big bad or whatever. In my opinion, I think they kind of redeemed themselves with it. They kind of fixed it, like where they left Wanda as the bad guy at the end of it, in a sense. Like, yeah, she redeemed herself in the end, but in the sense that, like, when you see all the people, once Agatha releases the spell from all the people and they all go after her, and she's like, oh my God, I'm a terrible person, and they're all like, yeah, you are, and you deserve everything that's about to come to you. You know, like, in that sense, she's still the bad guy in the public eye. Like, overall, you know, we see her somewhat win in the end. She beats Agatha, but she loses her entire family. And yeah, it sucks that she loses her entire family, but they kind of leave it off as in there's hope, especially with that second end credit scene that she's constantly searching. And I'm assuming it's the Darkhold that she's searching how to bring her family back, because you can hear, I think it was either Wiccan or Speed that was yelling out "Mom, help," or both of them, I don't remember. So they're somewhere out there. Like, they are living beings, but they were just trapped in this little universe, pocket universe that she created. Also, I do want to state the fact that Quicksilver was Ralph all along, just a regular dude, really means they're pushing this multiverse theory. So in this universe, Evan Peters, the character that Evan Peters, is not Quicksilver. He's just a regular dude that Agatha controlled and gave powers to make us, think like, oh my God, Quicksilver's in Marvel Universe now instead of the Fox Universe. So that leads me to believe that there is a that they're really going to be pushing this multiverse thing. Where I am confused, I will say, with the first end credit scene, it's obvious that they're pushing the Skrull secret invasion type thing. I don't know how they're going to do it, just because of the fact that, the Skrulls are very prominent now, and they're in this universe, living amongst people. You see Monica is very happy because she obviously knows someone. I'm assuming it's Talos that she wants to see, and she points up. She's like, "We're going to space, baby," and we're like, "Hell yeah, we're going to space." It's probably lead up to Captain Marvel 2 or something like that. In general. As for who's the big bad that everyone's going to be, that's what everyone's wondering, obviously. You heard Agatha say, you don't know what you've released and whatnot. Still, my theory lies within Mephisto, that Mephisto is the next big bad because of the fact that, it has dealings, you see the dealings with the devil in all of these shows. You see it in the Loki trailer. Also the fact that the Darkhold was mentioned and whatnot, that is... a big part of Mephisto's story. And she may have inadvertently released him when she, like Agatha may have had a spell to keep him contained, but when she had her powers taken away, it released him or something like that. Like, she's using her powers to keep him contained or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of theories that we can do, but overall, I was very happy. My one big gripe, I'd say, I wasn't too happy with, the whole Vision versus Vision, just because of the fact that, we've seen it before. I mean, we saw it in Logan, Old Man Logan, you know what I mean? He fights an evil version of himself and whatnot. What I didn't expect is for this Vision to be like, oh my God, I have knowledge now, and then go and run. And he says, I am Vision, and then flies into the sky. That I didn't expect at all. I didn't understand it. Part of me believes that someone brought this up to me earlier, that it could be, Ultron coming back and whatnot, or it's just him trying to find himself, be like, oh my God, I am Vision again. But there's the possibility that Ultron still lies in part of him. And it's really all I have to say. Also, the creation of Vision that Wanda made was a piece of the Mind Stone that was inside her. That was interesting. I didn't expect that either. I just kind of thought she made him out of thin air. But who knows? Overall, where do I think the MCU is going to go from here? I think it's going to lead into Skrull Secret Invasion. And I also think that it could be like, a second season thing, like her trying to get her kids back, her family back. And yeah, lastly, I just want to say this before I go. Seeing her in that costume was amazing. I did not expect me to like the costume so much. The costume itself was freaking amazing. And they just made it look good. I didn't think the Scarlet Witch costume would look good in live action, but it ended up looking really good. Yeah, overall though, the show, the last episode didn't change my opinion. I still loved it. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for more and see what they have to do with these next shows that are coming out and the rest of the MCU. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm glad you stuck around till the end. If you liked what you saw, then go ahead and hit that sub button. Also follow me on Twitch if you want to see some more unfiltered content. Lastly, we're trying to start a community here, so let's go ahead and join my Discord. I drop hints of what my next video is going to be and generally interact with my subscribers there. Thank you everyone and have a great day.